Over the decades, rivers, creeks, and streams in the Okanagan have been channelized and diked to provide flood protection, but that's had a serious impact on fish stocks and other wildlife. Well, as you can see behind me, that is beginning to change with the brand new Mission Creek Restoration Project. On today's show, we're going to check out where all this wonderful water is coming from. Now we're talking to Todd Cashin from the City of Kelowna Planning Department. This isn't a typical site along the Mission Creek Greenway, this huge pond of water.
Yeah, well, what you see here, Doug, is the new floodplain that's just been recently created. Basically moved the dike from behind you to the location that we're standing on. And by doing that, we created a heck of a lot more area for the flood waters to go. And here, of course, in the spring, right now, you're seeing the river do its thing.
You talked about flood protection, but there's lots of other benefits to having this more natural river style.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this project initially began as a very fish and fish habitat kind of focused project. But we learned very quickly that, for example, replacing a 60-year-old dike with a brand new dike, new standards, is a significant, lift in infrastructure. So that, just from a community flood protection perspective, is pretty interesting. Then, of course, you see folks walking by here, the brand new greenway with some really great new surfacing on here. So everything kind of got upgraded. And then, of course, the benefit besides fish and fish habitat is what you see behind here is a lot more floodplain, so a lot more vegetation for birds and, of course, the fish themselves.
Now, this must have been a big project. I can't imagine how many people must have been involved in something as like this, just from regulatory and landowners and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've really been lucky, the partnerships that we've had, from the government agencies, whether it's Fisheries and Oceans Canada, the Ministry Forests, or with our First Nations partners, Okanagan Nation Alliance, West Bank First Nation, Regional District, City of Kelowna, and then, of course, the non-government, the ones that really do a lot of the heavy lifting on trying to find some funds, like the Central Okanagan Land Trust, Friends of Mission Creek. So those types of partnerships were really critical to kind of getting this project off the ground.
As well as local farmers, because this was not too long ago somebody's hayfield.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, this was basically a year ago where we're standing, would have been alfalfa, 8 feet below us would have been an alfalfa field. So it was pretty neat to see this transition in about a year.
Right, well, coming up, we're going to take a little tour and check out exactly what's going on behind this wall of greenery, so stick around. Well, Todd, we've come down right into the heart of the project, and we're standing by where the water first broke through. What was that like to see this start to fill up with water?
Well, I guess it was a combination of both excitement and a bit of anxiety because you've spent a great deal of time and effort planning this project, and then, of course, constructing it. And constructing it for the purpose of, in this case, allowing flood waters to come into the floodplain. But you're just wanting to make sure that, these dikes are here for a reason. They're here to protect, our community and farmland on the other side. And, you want to make sure that...
You made a hole in it on purpose.
Yeah, you want to make sure that everything, you've done works. And, of course, in this case, it did.
Once you come down here, it's obviously very different from what people are used to in Mission Creek. Talk a little bit about what we can see around us here, what the process that's going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now we're seeing an active flood channel, right? So, the river is to our right and a new, basically, side channel being created on our left. You see a heck of a lot of springtime, so a lot of vegetation that's coming up, but also a lot of scouring, so a lot of deposits of sand and mud and gravels. And of course, you're seeing a lot of scour on the root systems of the cottonwoods and other vegetation. So yeah, what nature does, right? Water moves in, scours, deposits some really rich soils, and then the vegetation kind of takes advantage of that and grows. So we're in a location here where the old dike used to be, and we've dropped the old dike down and moved the material from that dike over to the new dike location. And then what that has allowed here is, as the floodwaters have come up, you can see some old root matting in here from cottonwoods and willows growing in here, and some grasses and forbs. And you can sort of see how that root area has really protected against erosion. So the creek just came up and over, but in behind where there was fresh sediments, it basically kind of took that away and sorted it all out. So you can sort of see how it came over, created a little bit of an erosion area here, and then started putting some gravels and some sand there as it moved off downstream.
So this is like a natural process that would normally occur when a creek like this is flowing freely, and it's never been able to do this since the 50s.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is pretty exciting because this is on a smaller scale. This is what we want to see in the river. On the river side scale of things, your large rainbow trout could cool off in the summer in these deeper pools where there's cooler water, and then they could also spawn in the gravels when it comes spawning time.
Now this has only been flooded for a very little while, but it already starts to look like a natural wetland behind us with all this greenery and the water winding its way through it.
Yeah, it's pretty neat how quickly nature kind of can take over, right? So yeah, you've got all the vegetation in the understory really starting to take off. You've got like still water depositing, kind of replicating wetlands. And then you've got a bit of a side channel starting to develop where a lot of the smaller kokanee fry that have just come out of the gravels,
Or the kids have just released.
Yeah. So again, the kokanee fry and the rainbow fry that need a place to hide, when you look out of the river there's a lot of moving water.
Yeah.
They actually need real calm spots. And this is a great little spot for those guys to hang out all summer long.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to show us around here a little bit. This is such a cool project. It must be gratifying to see it finally coming together.
Yeah, I mean, this is a project I've been involved with for a long time, and all my family and friends kind of get bored because I've been talking about this project so long, but I can't help but get excited about it. I work with so many great people on this project, and it's just such a we think it's just going to be a fantastic asset to our community.
Now, if people want to find out more or, see how they could get involved or whatever, there's a website they can check out?
Yeah, so it's all found, you can all find it on missioncreek.ca, www.missioncreek.ca. All the technical reports about what we're doing there, some really cool fact sheets, background information on our partnerships, some of the local flora and fauna. And then, of course, there's a really cool video as well that we've just produced that kind of gives you a bit more understanding of what we're trying to do.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody involved in this. I love wetlands. As a kid growing up, it was one of my favorite places to hang out, so it's so cool to see this kind of thing coming together. That is it for the show. I'm Doug Brown, and we'll see you next time on Go.